And so, make a long story short, get ready to buy the property, and Lonnie tells me that, well, there's a buried treasure on this property, and that I'd have to share the proceeds of that treasure if I found it with them. And I thought that over for a little while. I said, no, you're asking plenty of money for the property. In fact, it was real expensive, and especially back in that time. And I told him, no, if you want the treasure, you go dig it up and it's yours, but I don't want a cloud on the title. And lo and behold, I said, well, tell me about this treasure anyway. And so, anyway, Lonnie was telling me about the treasure. And he was telling me that a psychic was at a convention that Dexter Snow was attending. And this lady was getting some vibes from, psychic vibes from Dexter. And she walked up to him and said, do you have a piece of property in St. George that has a buried treasure on it? And Dexter said, well, I don't think so. And he said, well, yeah, I think so. I'm getting some of these real strong vibes that you are the owner of a piece of property in southern Utah that has a buried treasure on it. So he said, well, tell me more. And so the lady went on, said, well, I'll do better than that. I'll go to St. George. You don't tell me where the property is, and I'll pinpoint the location of the treasure. And Dexter said, well, you're on. And so, sure enough, they came to St. George, walked right up here on this hillside. She pinpointed the location of the treasure and told Dexter that there was a buried treasure there, told him that it was about 14 to 20 feet deep, and she didn't even know that this was the piece of property that they owned. So Dexter and Delmont, they get all buzzed up. So I think they actually even came up here with shovels and started digging it with shovels. And I think they had an area that was about, I would say about 15 by 15 that they started digging out with shovels. And it looked to me like they had got down about a foot or so, and they called that good. That's far enough with a shovel. And so, anyway, the psychic told them about this great piece of property. And so they wanted to pass on the obligation to find that treasure to me. Well, I wasn't going for it. So anyway, we finally did the deal, but I told them that before I built my new building, I'd actually dig down and see if I could find that treasure.
So where exactly was it on the property?
Well, it was actually probably about where the viewing room just to my left is right now. When it came time, I bought the property, and quite frankly, I wasn't able to get the financing and the property set for quite a few years. When we decided, and we finally did get the funding and decided to build here, I had a contractor that was doing some of the excavating, and I hired him to dig up the treasure. And during this time, I told him where it was and how deep it was and that. And he started one morning, and he was down about, I would guess about 14 feet or something like that. And I got busy in the business and had to leave. And so when I got back, he had quit digging and had left and informed me that there was nothing there. And his name was Omar Matthews, and he was in the excavating business. And his his excavating business has prospered ever since. But
How big of a hole did he dig?
well, it seems like in my mind it was about like a 15 by 15, 40 feet deep. Not 40, but 20 feet deep. And this is pretty hard digging here.
Yeah.
Big piece of equipment. But anyway, I really actually did dig for it. And but the real treasure is in this location. This has been a home run from the moment we built it. In the funeral business, the location of your funeral home is very important. Location, location, location. And this is a billboard that is probably as visible as any building in this city. And it's been a blessing to us ever since. So anyway, that's the story. When you start talking treasures and gold mines and all those kind of things, and you mention it to anyone, everybody has a story of treasures, whether it's Montezuma's or it's whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of sparks a good conversation. But for my good buddy Michael Gardner, I'm pleased to share this story with him. And actually, I was able to find the article, and I've given him a copy of it. So, folks, if you're interested in the future, you can call Michael Gardner, and he can print you off a copy and fill you in on the scoop.